Hey guys, welcome to Truth and Transparency. What is it? Thursday morning? 11 a.m. for me. All right. Again, welcome all the new subscribers, new members, people that, aren't either yet. The moderators, good morning. Going to let those notifications click in. Want to share with you guys some findings with the stapler. Yeah, I had to get that in. I want to share with you guys some stuff. Want to get you guys thinking this morning. But yeah, again, hope you guys are having a great morning. If you guys are at work, throw me in your ears. So again, good morning to everybody. Thank you for that new membership there. Right there. Rains, welcome. Hi. All right. I wonder if Mama Fee, how are you, love? Good to see you, love. You messaged me through which application? Email? How'd you message me? We'll talk later. Put me in your ears. Yes, you like that? Truth and Transparency on News Nation last night. Duh. Yeah, it's 7:00 in Sweden. Good. See, that's perfect. I try to mix it up, some mornings, some nights, some afternoons. But yeah. All right, guys. I have a 6-minute clip for you, and then we're going to jump into seeing what I think, seeing what you guys think. This is all about the University of Idaho murders, BRYAN KOHBERGER. Derek, how are you? And if you guys want a good laugh this morning, while I was waking up my son, I got sent a little short. And for whatever reason, growing up, when I would see like car accidents, it would like if a tire blew out on the highway, or like I would just start laughing. And so, of course, like I don't want anyone to get injured, but like I think it's all from my experience with watching Adventures in Babysitting. So, but yeah, check out my community page. I posted it's like a short, it's like a minute long or something. And you just see these cars. This woman, oh God bless her heart. Maybe I'll show it at the end. But if you want a good laugh, check out my community page, my short that I posted back a couple hours ago. But I had my son laughing, and he's 7. So he's like, I want to see that, because he hears me laughing when I was waking him up this morning for school. And I was like, you want to see this? And he's like, did she get hit? I was like, no, but she's about to. So, yes, I love Adventures in Babysitting. Elizabeth Shue fan here. Yes. All right. Mic drop in. Good. I have a mod. Again, always just be kind and chat, love. Let's talk about it. Oh, yeah. Thank Nancy. Yes. Is Nancy here? Make sure you guys thank those people that got you those memberships. All right. Let's do it. November 13th, 2022. At 11:58 a.m., there was a 911 call placed in Moscow, Idaho. November 14th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in their off-campus home. On November 15th, 2022, the 4 victims were announced as Ethan Chapin, Xander Kanoodle, Kaylee Gonsalves, and Madison Mogan. November 16th, 2022, was the very first press conference from the Moscow Police Department. This was an isolated, targeted attack. Anyone with information is please urged to come forward. December 7th, 2022, the Moscow Police Department was asking the public if they had seen a white Elantra, and if so, to call the tip line. December 14th, 2022, Washington State University had a text alert system activated. December 15th, 2022, the FBI ordered Hancock County, Indiana, to pull over the white Elantra seen on the highway. This Elantra featured two men, BRYAN and Michael Kohlberger. BRYAN Kohlberger, a 28-year-old male, was the driver and handed the officer on the first stop his driver's license. BRYAN Kohlberger, as well as these police stops, would not be known to Moscow, Idaho community until his arrest in Pennsylvania on December 30th, 2022. Truth and Transparency did a public request on incidences that involved the off-campus house where the students were stabbed to death. These body cams would be released on this YouTube channel prior to December 30th, 2022. The Moscow Police Department was very tight-lipped after asking for help on searching and locating a white Elantra. It would not be until the arrest of BRYAN Kohlberger when the police would have their fourth press conference, the first one since November.
Brian, did you do it? Brian, did you do it? Brian, did you do it? Brian, did you do it?
When I heard that BRYAN and his father were pulled over in Indiana and Hancock County, something seemed off about that location. And it was because that was in the middle of the state in Indiana. And I believed that he should have been actually taking a different route if he in fact was going to his home in the Poconos, or his parents' home. Why would anybody take the longest route possible? Well, if you actually type in his Steptoe Apartments and you put in that you want to go a route that has no toll roads so that your vehicle is not pictured, your license plate is not pictured, and you aren't pictured, that is why you would take the longest way possible. And where BRYAN would have had to make that decision to split off, or if he made it prior to when he first Google mapped it, that decision has to come in Montana. And so when you would click no tolls, a new destination, and in a way, or not a new destination, but a new route would then surface to say, okay, here, this is how you want to go. But that is why BRYAN was actually, and his father were driving through Hancock County, is due to BRYAN going a certain way back home to his parents. And that would be a way that avoided all tolls. I think that this could be a big part of the prosecution. If they can prove that this is in fact what BRYAN did. Now the question is, for me, then that tells me that they had been watching BRYAN prior to his departure from WSU. And so when did that begin? When did Moscow Police Department know the name BRYAN Kohlberger? Thank you to the members, subscribers, and moderators. Your live broadcast is to be in moments. While you wait, hit the thumbs up button or thumbs down, as well as the subscribe button and bell if you want to be notified when TNT drops a new video or schedules a live broadcast. All right, guys, again, welcome back. Truth and Transparency. Bella, make yourself known.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Good morning to those on the Pacific side of life.
Yeah, waking up early with us. if anybody's been around for a while, they know. I want to just show you guys how long my hair is now. I'm doing a hair update and how long it is. Look at that mic dropping. It's getting pretty long, isn't it? Anyways, so welcome, and we're going to talk about Bryan's path. But first talk. I do believe that Bryan calculated his route to 100 avoid the toll roads. So Bryan's avoiding toll roads now. I mean, this is just with the limited information that I have. When I heard that he was in Hancock, I said, Bella, that's like in the middle of the state of Indiana.
You did. You said that.
I said that right away when I know my states. I know my geography. I love it. I was like, you know what? That's like Indianapolis. Like, what is he going that way for? Nobody makes a 38-hour drive 40 hours. Like, what are you doing? So went ahead and just double checked it all. And of course, yes. Then I was like, okay, I want to look at toll roads. Sure shit. You put in toll roads and you want to avoid them. That's exactly what Bryan did. He put in, he just clicks the button, no tolls. And, you know, there's like, when you get down to, you could split off at a bunch of different places, but where he should have, if I was driving or and anybody with brain, you're going to be going, you know, he could argue weather. He could argue traffic. He could say, you know, so I think investigators should get on it right now. I mean, they've already been on it because, guys, let's be honest. He 100, no doubt in my mind, was being watched. When they announced on December 7th that they were looking for a white Elantra to the public, that is my date that at least by that point they were watching Bryan. And that would be December 7th. Obviously I can't prove it to you and hand you, here is the FBI and Moscow police. Here we go. This is our brief for the day. I can't give you that. But the reason I say this is when I was talking to Bella, I said, hey, you know, why do you think that they came out and said to the public, we need your help, white Elantra, 2011, 2013, go. And obviously you're going to get all these leads, but also could it be a fact that we want to see if Bryan himself would come forward? Would Bryan come forward? And would he be like, okay, well, I have an Elantra. I have a white Elantra. I mean, it's not between 2011 and 2013, but I have a white Elantra. Also, is it because they want to see if Bryan would then run? Would he go on the run? Number one is he did not go on the run. Bryan did not go on the run.
Because he's cool and calm and a psychopath.
Yep. Cool, calm, collective. Yes, allegedly Bryan is scheduled to be in the courtroom to be arraigned 9:30 Pacific time. So you're looking at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Also this would give a chance for neighbors to see this white Elantra. But they wanted to see, I believe, what he was going to do, how he was going to react to that, if he would come forward. Now the question is, do you think Bryan was interviewed? Do you think Bryan was interviewed? Because if you actually take the date of the 7th and you go to, you know, the homicides being, I mean, the phone call wasn't until 11:58. By the time they're sampling and pooling everything, I mean, good luck with that even being done, because you have to be very careful. So let's just say that they would have had it by the end of the week that everything was, let's just go ahead and say, like, pick the 19th. You then have 1, 2, 2.5, 2.5 weeks before the 7th, before December 7th, to what? Get back a hit on DNA? No, I don't believe that you would I don't believe that. Because guess what? He's not in the system, right? So then you have to go pooling how they said, right? I believe that his name was given up. I believe that his name was given up at some point. So why do I believe this? Because of the white Elantra. Just because of white Elantra, I don't care where it's at. I don't care. They said that the plates, they didn't know the plates. They knew the plates. They knew the plates. They want to see if he's going to come in. They want to see what he's going to do. Because let me ask you guys this. They pull him over twice. The FBI tells Indiana to pull him over back to back, right? For driving too close behind. Then they watch him for another almost 15 days. 15 days. I know the FBI was onto him, at least when he left. So we'd have to be onto him prior to him leaving, because then how are you following him while how do you miraculously know where he's out on the highway? And people could say, oh, his phone or tracking him. You guys, yeah, could that be it? Sure. Is it possible? Sure. Is it plausible? No, I believe what's plausible is that they were following him before that they knew about him before that. So when the police got super tight-lipped, it's because they found out that he was a criminologist. Okay. They had to shut down talking about anything and everything because this man who they put on their radar was very, very intelligent, and his background. But where does this name come from? Where does BRYAN KOHBERGER come from? His name had to surface, I believe, from somewhere. And that meaning a person. It could have been they were going through pictures. Hey, who's this guy? Hey, who's this guy? Hey, who's this guy? You know, hey, do you know him? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? And so what they're gathering is Brian's pattern of events, his behavioral patterns. You know, he doesn't just bolt. Then they see, oh my God, his dad now comes into town. Okay. They went ahead and they're going to see when that plane ticket was bought. Rumor has it that it was something that was planned at the end of summer for that to happen, for him to come home. But I find it hard to believe that people that would have been in the apartment complex of Brian would not be calling in that white Elantra. I just find that hard to believe. Let me take a look at chat here. Why did he change his plates? Well, he actually, when he got pulled over in August, his ID already said that he was living in Idaho, or in Pullman. So he changed his ID prior to him getting pulled over August 21st. Now you have the change of plates on November 18th. Obviously I don't live in Washington. I don't know if, like, where I'm from here in Ohio, we have to either get a tag or new plates. You have to renew your tags. Can you renew your tags and make them still be PA? Well, I think that would cause a problem once he switched over his driver's license to his permanent address being in Washington. Again, I haven't gone down enough to pinpoint all of that, but I look just at okay, he switched over his ID before August to give the Washington address on his ID, because that was what was written in his ticket. Then November 18th, when he did that, that's because they send out the notification that, hey, you have to register your vehicle depending on your birthday. Sometimes it goes with that. Again, like I said, I haven't dived in and even like began to look. But the police got really, really tight-lipped. So much so that they basically jeopardized a relationship with like one of the victims' families, in my opinion. And so, but it was, do I think that it was Moscow making that call? I think it was the FBI making that call to say certain things. They believe who they're dealing with. But why not take Bryan Kohlberger? Why on the 30th? Why on December 30th? What were you waiting to get? What did you need? I believe that when Bryan was pulled over, again, this is my belief, that when he was pulled over back to back in Indiana, you cannot say that somebody is smart and then not say that he would not pick up on the fact that he was pulled over for the most ridiculous things, and him not to know that, okay, they're on to me. They're on to me. Yes, your license does expire on your birthday. That's why I said his birthday, November 21st, I believe. So Bryan's switching things out. If it goes based on how Ohio would work, it'd have to do with that, his birthday. You have a 39-hour trip, a lot of time, seeing where people stop. What was Bryan doing? Did he discard anything? You're trying to get DNA on him. If you're following him to see if he, maybe also fingerprints. But when they would have ever had whatever they needed, I asked Bella, I said, why would you raid him? Why wouldn't you just try to talk to him and see if he'll talk to you at all? Usually when someone gets raided like that and it's in that type of a manner, like you're not talking. So then I thought about it and I said, well, maybe he was talked to when he was in Washington. I don't know if it was ever asked at the press conference, but was Bryan attempted, did anybody call him and say, hey, we were given your name, or we were told by your, you can make up whatever you want. Your neighbor said that you have a white Elantra. We were looking through the database and we were looking through the permits. And at Washington State University, we pulled everybody and we're going through everybody that owns a white Elantra. I mean, come on, this is what they get paid for. So why do we believe that Bryan spoke to law enforcement?
And what you mean by that is, did he get interviewed by law enforcement?
Yeah, did he get interviewed? They could say we were going through pictures. Here you go. You're in this picture. Do you know the victims? Do you know the victim? They could say whatever. But I'm curious as to if you want this guy, anybody, why not? Even in PA, knock on the door. Hey, is Bryan Kohlberger here? Hi, we're from and we were sent over here. We were told that you have a white. I mean, whatever they want to say. Why wouldn't you try to talk to him just to see what he says? Max says, Lana, I would like to know if we can interview the person who changed Bryan's registration. Washington has rigorous checks to change your plates. Ask the clerk anything. He changed it on November 18th. Yes, he did change it on November 18th. Why 3 a.m.? Well, if you ask Bella, she'll tell you that. Why do you think he was raided at 3 a.m.?
I think because he's so dangerous and they have no idea what he's going to do. He's like nobody else we've ever seen before. And 3 a.m., he's sleeping. And then you think,
I don't see the need in any of that. Unless you felt that Bryan was loaded with all this, you know, these weapons, these ammunition. I mean, who needs to take somebody down at 3 a.m. at their parents' house when you've been watching him for, I want to say, since December 7th.
I believe that.
I'm very interested to see the date when this all comes out, when he was on their radar, and I think that's going to be part of the probable cause. I think that's going to be part of the probable cause. I do.
And hopefully we'll see the probable cause after 9:30
Yes, that should be
a.m.
released.
Pacific time.
Yeah.
Right?
And everybody that thinks like the gag order means that, like, that just means, you know, there's still going to be information. There's, you know, every time there's a court appearance, anytime, you know, something is happening, I mean, they just can't be, like, Moscow can't be doing, it's to limit them talking. I mean, everybody right now in public opinion thinks that Bryan legit this is him. 100, he committed these crimes. Now, honestly, like, I think that that's wrong, but I get why everybody feels that way, because this is personal. For whatever reason, true crime becomes personal to people. And the first person that you get emotionally connected to is the victims, because that's who you hear about. So you hear 4 horrible ways that 4 individuals were murdered by stabbing in the middle of the night while they're sleeping, college students, home safe, all that stuff. And then now all of this stuff that's coming out about this BRYAN KOHBERGER guy. And he is in public opinion and media right now. My God, like, the worst person ever, you know, and I'm not saying that he's not, but I'm saying that's what's going around. And you have people coming out of the woodwork that hasn't talked to him in, I mean, 10, 12 years saying stuff. Which, no offense, like, I think it is what it is. Anyone in his class, Dawn says, anyone in his class could be a suspect. He may have information that will lead to more arrests or another arrest. He could have graded the paper of someone who did it. You know, he was arrested, guys, and it's 4 counts of murder. So,
And one of breaking.
but yeah, he got burglary. Yeah. Yeah, 100 there, Lance. That's exactly right. So, let's see. Yeah, so, I mean, my questions, if I was to be able to ask anything, is when did the cops, or did the cops attempt to talk to Bryan in Moscow or in Pullman prior to his departure? When did his dad arrive in Washington? When I do believe that he knew when he was pulled over twice in Indiana that he was being watched. So people that are saying that he wore gloves to go grocery shopping and wherever he went, that's why I believe it. When did his dad buy his flight ticket? When did his dad get the flight ticket? That's something that I would want to know. When his dad was in town, where did he sleep? Everybody's talking about his dad talking about the WSU shooting, okay, which was the guy that had the hostage with his roommates. Bryan is a teacher there. He would have been on the text alerts, and so he would have gotten an alert for that through his phone. And so the reason that his dad is saying that is because that shooting was December 14th. Whenever that text alert went out, and they would have already been on the road, whenever that text alert went out is why his dad is making that comment. Do I think that that's strange? Absolutely not. I don't think that it's strange. I think that his dad is an older guy, and he is just like talking about whatever. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but like it was the most awkward pullover I've ever seen. You know, even the officer, even like, didn't he say license and registration? Well, Brian only hands him his license. Did he hand him his registration?
And what do we always say? You don't ask
Thank
questions
you.
of things you know.
Yeah, you don't exactly. You don't
So
ask.
they knew.
You don't ask questions about stuff you knew. But I will tell you this: the reason that they were probably interested in pulling him over in Hancock, I'm telling you, where's he going? You know, where's he going? This isn't the way. And they knew at that point what he was doing. He was avoiding the toll roads, so they weren't going to get him with his license plate, with the vehicle, with his picture. The way that he was going, and at that point when he would have made that decision, you know, I don't know when their clocks may have kicked in. Well, oh God, he's trying to avoid the toll roads, so we need to pull him over. Also, depending on which way he was going, if he came through Chicago and then went down versus staying up, if he did that, then that's what's going to, okay, wait, why is he going this way? Where is he going? He's not going to PA. Where is he going? Where is he going? So, but thank you for that. Thank you for that super chat there. I highlighted it. On this end, everything comes in like so far different. Thank you there, Jamie. So
You guys need to look at the Hollywood slasher and see his similarities to him. He is insanely similar.
Let's see. Brian was pulled over that August 21st date, you guys. That is the night before school starts for both Idaho and Washington state. And so it's interesting to me that he was over where he was by the University of Idaho the night before school actually starts, because a lot of parties go on the night before school starts. People get together before the night, or the night before school starts. People get together in college for that all the time. Yeah, they were pretty much surveying Bryan Kohlberger for a hot minute. Again, I can't hand you any of the briefing schedules and how or when they debriefed and they said, okay, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing. But they were, the FBI was involved, talking them through some strategy, I do believe. And I do believe that that came from somebody coughing up that name. Because I just don't believe that that DNA would have been, because what are the odds, guys, that they're looking for this white Elantra and that Brian drives a white Elantra? What are the odds? And I kept saying to myself, you guys, this is not that difficult. They're looking for a white Elantra. They go into the database. They go with the schools that are right there, Washington. Right. Then you go to the DMV. You'd pull up recent people that had even white Elantras if they felt like, could this person have changed their plates? Could they have done this? So that would have popped up right away. And could the white Elantra been what got them on that path? Sure. Sure. But how do we even know that white Elantra is from that night? How do we know that? I'm just saying the police can be very creative. And I just felt like, and they never talked about it again. They never talked about the white Elantra again in terms of, they just kept saying that we hadn't found it. They didn't do any pressers. They didn't talk anymore. They closed their mouths because they knew who they were dealing with. And I think as much as they wanted to tell, Kaylee's parents things, they just couldn't. They couldn't risk when they kept saying the integrity of the case. That can't get out. That can't get out because they needed more. I believe that they needed more. They still want more. That's a great question, and I'm going to highlight that. Why would he use his own car? Like I said, we don't know anything about that photo. We're going to find out in the probable cause, in my opinion. We don't know when that photo was taken. We don't know where it was taken. Like I said, like they can tell you whatever they want to tell you. That's law enforcement can do that. So everything surrounding that white car is I think it's going to be in the probable cause. And actually where it came from, timestamp, I mean everything about it. People are saying, that he going to dump the vehicle in PA. Well, he didn't. He was there since the 15th, and it was the 30th, and he didn't dump it yet. I wonder if someone was going to drive with him back. Curious about that. See, I think that he would have thought about the whole breaking criminal filings now available at the website. Is it? We're on there, so we're going to take a look. Let's take a look, see if they're available. If not, we're all going to go after. I'm just kidding, Lance. I'm just messing with you though. Let's take a look here. I thought we had the alert on, so let's take a look. All right, looks like they are up, so I'm going to pull them up. Let's take a look together, guys. Here we go in real time. Let's take a look at them. They are up. They are up. Again, I'll pull it up. I'll show it. I'll read it. Those of you guys that can't, look at the screen because you're listening, I'll make sure that I read it off for you guys. All right, it is lengthy. Thank you there, Susan. It is lengthy. Let me clear my throat with all of this.
If you don't get that, then
Hold on, I am making it so that I can zoom in on and make it as big as possible. So just 1 second. Okay, it literally just disappeared. Hold on 1 second. This is wild. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Wow.
Yeah, we can't.
It literally just
None of them are.
vanished. Check this out.
It might need a couple of minutes.
It just might need a minute, but this is wild. They uploaded a shit ton. Let's see.
Yeah.
So here we go.
They added attorneys. They added active attorneys to it. So maybe that's what they're doing. Yep, still not clickable.
So nothing's clickable yet, but burglary, murder, 4 counts, new case, criminal 12/29, 2022. Criminal complaint, probable cause order, affidavit. So Exhibit A statement. Ooh. Exhibit A statement.
Retracted, is that what you're looking at? I'm going back to chat. So.
And then they have an affidavit. Exhibit A, there's a statement. Huh. Motion to preserve crime scene and evidence, 12:30. Motion for non. Yep, same thing. Oh, there you go. There's your gag order. Initial appearances. So she put her appearance in 9:30 a.m. Application for public defender. He filled it out. She went ahead and that's the latest thing. So the portal's there. you guys could see that. Yep, he goes into court at 9:30, so we still have 45 minutes. It's all here basically. Once he gets into the courtroom and they go ahead and have the hearing, once the hearing is over, then all of these will become, I believe, clickable links. That's my guess. Again, they're all uploaded, so they're ready to go. And then at the hearing, these will all then become clickable. So stuff started happening, filing of paperwork on December 29th. Criminal complaint, probable cause. Then there's an Exhibit A with it. There's an affidavit with it. So right now, I think I'm batting possibly 1 for 1 there with that statement if I believe that his name was coughed up prior to anything. So that's just, you know.
Nancy just gave it to 10 members.
Nancy did? Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. Nancy gifted 10 memberships, guys. Who ended up getting them?
I'll tell you. Okay.
I can't read the probable cause yet there, Tommy. It's not available. When it becomes available, I will.
Floydie was gifted a membership.
Floydie got one?
Melon. All of you guys who got gifted, welcome. Nancy S., thank you so much for supporting the channel like you do. You are a rock star, Nancy S. We adore you.
We will be able to read it. This will be, you know, per Idaho law. This stuff will become available. They did redact some, we can see. So take a look at that again. There is an Exhibit A. There's a statement with it. Again, it's redacted, but it's there. Where is? Yes, thank you, Nancy. Thank you for that. Anaphylaxis, how are you? Let's see. Again, he is to appear in court here with his new public defender. Right here, she went ahead and filled out. So he was given the application for public defender. You know, he had to fill that out. She then made her appearance. She's going to be, so she filled out her paperwork, filed it, and she's going to be officially, you know, making that initial appearance, but the paperwork was filled out.
And she is a bombshell attorney. She is amazing.
I haven't divulged enough into that. The police made horrible testimony, which allowed one of her clients to be exonerated. However, he was then recharged and they're not recharged, but it was appealed and he was convicted. So I haven't done my due diligence on his team of lawyers, but I will say this, for them to be out there already taking pictures the past couple days and allegedly having and I say allegedly on this because they're not allowed to speak. They can't talk on anything. So people saying that there was a crime scene reenactment, you know, specialist in there. Again, where they're getting that information, you know, nobody can speak on that. So I just want you guys to just keep that in mind. But Again, this, you have to remember, we're Idaho right now. It is about to be, it's 10 till 9 there. Court is set for 9:30. It shouldn't be that long. And then as soon as it is released, it'll come. Yeah, like I said, I don't know enough about and at the end of the day, how you litigate does matter. How the jury perceives everything is what matters, guys. How the jury is going to perceive both sides is what matters. Voir dire to me is the most important part of the process. You're putting your life in the hands of 12 people plus alternates. So voir dire, when you're picking your jury members, is very, very important. And then presenting your case in a way that the jury understands it, sees it. So yes, Idaho does have two time zones. And actually, they're not on Pacific. I'm sorry. Boise is on Pacific. Idaho is on Mountain Standard, or Moscow's on Mountain Standard. So they're only 2 hours behind us. So it should be coming through. So yeah, in Boise, they're on Pacific. Moscow is not Pacific. It's Mountain Standard Time. Again, I'm on Eastern Standard, so. Or did I just flip that? Maybe I just flipped that. Now I'm confusing myself. Yep, that's it. Thank you. I just flipped that. So yeah. And that's right, because that 3:33 a.m. text message. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yep, we're just waiting for the hearing. The hearing's at 9, guys. So, or 9:30. And so it's still got 30 minutes until the hearing. So as soon as that opens up, I'll be reading it. Again, touching base on from before, because we'll come back to being able to read that. I can't read anything from links that aren't open. Nothing has been opened yet, guys. So yeah, Brian's waiting. He'll be in court in the next 30 minutes. Shouldn't be that long of a court proceeding. And they already have it stated here that, let me share this screen with you. Stuff has already been redacted. They know what they're giving to the public. So right here, you can tell and you can see that see redacted stuff has been redacted. So they already know what they're giving to the public. Basically, once the hearing's over, all of these links will become available. So You know, my heart still is always going to go out to all the victims, and that would include Brian's family, his two sisters, mom, dad, extended family. Brian, if he is found guilty and, you know, he's done these four horrible, heinous murders, his family was not part of this, and they're victims in this as well. And I think people sometimes lose sight of that. And I think it's on the job of the courts and the media to make sure that people don't lose sight of that. So always, if you're going to be here at Truth and Transparency, victims are victims, and I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. There's gonna come a day where a set of parents, or possibly multiple sets of parents, get a phone call telling them that their son or daughter was arrested for brutally murdering four people. So I couldn't imagine that phone call. I couldn't imagine going through this. I can't imagine going through it, you know, being the victims, the four victims' family members. So thank you there, Steph. Appreciate that. I'll go ahead and try to reset some stuff. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to go ahead. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm seeing if it was re-released. So here we go. 1 second here. Again, I'm going to pull up the page again to see if it has been re-released now. Let's go ahead and take a look. I think I do have it. again, I'm trying to pull up when they went ahead and released it, there is actually 2 different versions. So I don't know if there was an accident and something got released that shouldn't have gotten released. So I'm doing on my end everything I can to, if there was in fact 2 releases, I want both releases. So, yep, I take care of that. As far as having trolls, we just go ahead and we make it members only. That's what we do. So. But yeah, I'm good on the trolls. So again, welcome to Truth and Transparency. If it means I have 100 or even 1,000 less people, so be it. I believe in humanity. It's a very, very good thing. Humanity. Yep, become part of the family. It's very simple. And you know what's funny on my end, guys, is that I was like, wait, why isn't the chat at, the 60-second slow-mo? Oh, because I was in my past streams. That's why. So what is up, Light with the Red Kim? How are you, love? So again, that's how fast you can see people leave. And that's kind of what I would prefer, is that it's always quality over quantity. But yep. The mycourts.idaho.gov is jammed. Literally jammed up. Can't make this up. I think all of the world is on it. No joke. So. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we would bring you something if we can, but we can't. We can't bring you anything right now at the moment. There is no, my page says loading. Yep, you guys, it's loading for days. It's literally jammed. So all those people acting like that, it's out there. No. The courts, or let's see here. Pending. Here we go. Let's see if we can do it like this.
Okay. Mine isn't loading.
Yeah, but anybody that's tried to actually email it to me, same thing that's coming up. It says service is unavailable, so you can't see it. I mean, it's
We have the link.
we have the link. We're on it, guys. Its service is not available. And it's not service on our end. It's like the service is not available, their end. So trust me, I just got bombarded with like 15 people emailing me this. I would be, reading it off if I could. I can't get into it. So the affidavit is out there. It is definitely out there, because we had it for a second and then it went. So, and I'm telling you, I think that something got released that was not supposed to get released at first.
Well, they even added attorneys. They added a bunch
Yeah,
of
they
stuff
were
to
they
it.
were doing things to it. So, you know, there are humans behind the computers. So I'm wondering, and that's why I was trying to get my hands on if they accidentally released something they were not supposed to try to get my hands on that. So again, welcome guys to Truth and Transparency. It is a members only chat. I am going to go ahead and open it back up to subscribers with it being on slow motion for me. There you go. Behave. I feel like I'm a teacher, like, all right, guys, settle down. No touching the other kids. Again, so I do believe that something got released that wasn't supposed to. We had it there for a second, so if anybody was able to grab it, good for them. But I believe it was a glitch. If you think that you have it, you can send it again. That's my email, themindchallenge@gmail. Again, when people have been sending it though to my email, literally I click the link that they're sending and it says service crash. So
Well, maybe don't send the link. Maybe they should send, because you have the link.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it crashed the system too. Wow, they are amazed at the amount of evidence they have against him. Don't know yet. Haven't seen it. So oh, good for Brian. Brian's also there in Idaho, so I would hope that he have them. So yeah, stuff gets released sometimes. You have, it's human error. So again, that is what law and crime is saying, Lana. I'm telling you. I think something was released that wasn't supposed to be.
Probably.
Yeah.
iPhone.
See, again, now here's my phone just blows up. Let's see if I get the PDF. Let's see if I get. I might have the PDF version. Let's see. Thank you there, Lisa. Welcome to the Transparency fam. All right, so I got it. I'm going to pull it up. Boom, boom, boom. Watch this go down. All right. Here we go. See? Boom. Got the good version too. So, shh.
Cross your fingers.
I'm just saying it pays to wait when you want to do things the right way. Pays to wait. Okay. I'll read it off for you guys. Here we go. Again, I will not be looking at chat. Be kind in chat. This is Exhibit 1, statement by Brett Payne. The below information is provided by Brett Payne. Payne is the officer, in case you guys did not know. On November 13th, 2022, at approximately 4 p.m., MPD Blaker and I responded to 1122 King Road to assist with scene security and processing of crime scene associated with 4 homicides. Officer Smith and I entered the King Road residence through the bottom floor door on the north side of the building. Officer Smith and I then walked upstairs to the second floor. So they walked in through the front door. Officer Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver's license and other personal belongings found in the room was Xana Kernodle's hereafter Kernodle room. Just before, so that's the, you guys know that's the bedroom down past, right where the bathroom is, bedroom 4. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Again, he's walking down the hall. Just before this room, there was the bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body later identified as Kernodle's laying on the floor. Also in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan Chapin. He'll be referred to as Chapin, was also deceased with wounds later determined. Autopsy report provided. This is redacted. So Ethan's wounds later determined. Autopsy report provided by the coroner that did it. This is redacted. County medical examiner blank dated December 15th, 2022 to be caused by sharp force injuries. I then followed Officer Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Gonsalvez's, hereafter will be known as Gonsalves, room. I later learned from review of Officer Noonan's body camera, there was a dog in the room when Moscow police officers initially responded. The dog belonged to Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend, Jack. I found out from my interview with Jack on November 13th that he and Kaylee shared the dog. Officer Smith then pointed out a small bathroom on the east side of the third floor. This bathroom shared a wall with Madison Mogan's, hereafter Mogan, bedroom, which was situated on the southeast corner of the third floor. As I entered this bedroom, I could see 2 females in the single bed in the room. Both Kaylee and Maddie were deceased with visible stab wounds. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife, the sheath laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side. It was later processed and had KABARUSMC as United States Marine Corps Eagle Globe and an anchor and Sigma stamped on the outside of it. The Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA suspect profile left on the button snap of the knife. Whoa. The sheath. So the profile is from the sheath on the button.
You have to be so careful with knives. Blood goes everywhere.
But no, it's when he would have snapped it open to use.
Yeah. Even his freaking finger, like, oh my God.
So I'm just pausing for a second so you guys can hear that. What that means, because I like to try to, if people are listening, at work or wherever. So again, the Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA, and it was the subject's profile, and it was left on the button snap of the knife sheath, so the covering of what protects the knife. As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow Police Department, Idaho State Police, FBI agents. 2 of the interviews included BF and DM. Both BF, just so you know, that's Bethany, and Dylan were inside the King Road residence at the time of the homicides and were roommates to the victims. BF's bedroom was located on the east side of the first floor of the King Road residence. Based on numerous interviews conducted by Moscow Police Department, FBI detectives, as well as my review of evidence, I have learned the following. So I think it's interesting right there. They're only talking about, so both Bethany and Dylan were inside the King Road residence at the time of the homicides and were roommates to the victims. And they just mentioned Bethany's bedroom was located on the east side of the first floor of the King Road residence. They make no reference as where Dylan's bedroom is. Based on numerous interviews, on the evening of November 12, 2022, Chapin, so Ethan and Xana are seen by Bethany at the Sigma Chi house on the University of Idaho's campus at approximately 9 on November 12th to 1:45 a.m. on November 13th. Bethany also estimated that approximately 1:45, Ethan and Xana returned to the King Road residence. Bethany also stated that Ethan did not live in the King Road residence, but was a guest of Xana's. Kaylee and Maddie were at a local bar, the Corner Club. Kaylee and Maddie can be seen on video footage provided by the Corner Club between 10 p.m. and 1:30 a.m. At approximately 1:30, Kaylee and Maddie can be seen on a video at a local food vendor called the Grub Truck. The Grub Truck live streams videos from their food truck on the streaming platform. The platform Twitch, which is available for public viewing on their website. This video was captured by law enforcement. A private party, Blank, reported that he provided a ride to Kaylee and Maddie at approximately 1:56 a.m. from downtown to the King Road residence. Dylan and Bethany both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of King Road residence were at home by 2 a.m. and asleep, or at least in their rooms, by approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Xana, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. So Xana ordered DoorDash and it arrived at 4 a.m.
Did the DoorDash driver deliver it?
Dylan stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the south side of the second floor. Dylan stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Kaylee playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, Dylan said she heard who she thought was Kaylee say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from a forensic download of Xana's phone showed this could also have been Xana, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m.
It wasn't between 3 and 4.
Hold on. Dylan stated she looked out of her bedroom, which again, guys, if you just listen to what I said, it says it right here that Dylan and her bedroom are located on the second floor, like I said and broke down for everybody a couple weeks ago.
So true.
So, now, Xana's using TikTok at approximately 4:12 a.m. Dylan stated she looked out of her bedroom, but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. Dylan stated she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Xana's room. Dylan then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you."
This is freaking horrific.
At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at 1112 King Road, a residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road, picked up distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimpering, followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times starting at 4:17 a.m. The security camera is less than 50 feet from the west wall of Xana's bedroom. Just horrible. Dylan stated she opened her door for the third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. Dylan described the figure as 5'10" or taller male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past Dylan as she stood in a frozen shock phase.
So she didn't even lock the door.
The male walked towards the back sliding glass door. Dylan locked herself in her room after seeing the male. Dylan did not state that she recognized the male. This leads investigators to believe that the murderer left the scene.
I'm so confused right now.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. The combination of Dylan's statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensic downloads of records from Bethany and Dylan's phone, and video of a suspect video as described below leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene by the ISP forensic team by first using a presumptive blood test and then, what did they use? Amino black, a protein stain that detects the presence of cellular material. The detective's shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern similar to the pattern of Vans type shoe sole just outside the door of Dylan's bedroom, located on the second floor. This is consistent with Dylan's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. As part of the investigation, an intensive search, commonly referred to in law enforcement as a video canvass, was conducted in the area of the King Road residence. This video canvass was to obtain any footage from the early morning hours of November 13th in the area of the King Road residence and surrounding neighborhoods in an effort to locate the suspects or suspect vehicle traveling to or leaving from the King Road residence. This video canvass resulted in the collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residential and business addresses. I have reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have had conversations with other Moscow Police Department officers, detectives, FBI, ISP. A review of the camera footage indicated that a white sedan, hereafter will be referred to as Suspect Vehicle 1. How many vehicles did he have? Suspect Vehicle 1 was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow at approximately 3:26 a.m. and westbound on Snyder Avenue at Idaho State Highway 95 in Moscow at approximately 3:28 a.m. On this video, it appeared Suspect Vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. A review of footage from multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and then leave via Elantra Drive. Based off of my experience as a patrol officer, this is a residential neighborhood with a very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit this area during this time frame. Hold on, guys. I need a drink of water. Wow. Wow. Okay. Hold on one second. Hydrate. Yep. Okay, here we go. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a 4th time, approximately at 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. Suspect vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 a.m. at a high rate of speed. Suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Elantra Drive. Based on my knowledge of the area and review of the camera footage in the neighborhood, that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during that time frame. I believe that the suspect vehicle 1 likely exited the neighborhood at Palouse River Drive. It's at the southern edge of Moscow, proceeds into Whiteman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. So this would all be speculation at that point, where, based on my knowledge of the area and review of the camera footage of the neighborhood, that does not show suspect 1 during that time. Pullman, Washington is approximately 10 miles from Moscow, Idaho. Both Pullman and Moscow are small college towns, and people commonly travel back and forth between them. Law enforcement officers provided video footage of suspect vehicle 1 to forensic examiners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation that regularly utilizes surveillance footage to identify the year, make, and model of an unknown vehicle that is observed by one or more cameras during the commission of a criminal offense. The forensic examiner has approximately 35 years law enforcement experience with 12 years at the FBI. His specific training includes identifying unique characteristics of a vehicle, and he uses a database that gives visual clues of vehicles across states to identify differences between vehicles. After reviewing the numerous observations of suspect vehicle 1, the forensic examiner initially believed that suspect vehicle 1 was a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Upon further review, he indicated it could also be between a 2011 and 2016 Hyundai Elantra. As a result, investigators have been reviewing information on persons in possession of a vehicle that is between 2011 and 2016 white Hyundai Elantra. Investigators were given access to video footage on the Washington State University campus located in Pullman, Washington. A review of that video indicated that at approximately 2:44 a.m. on November 13th, 2022, a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of the white Elantra known as suspect vehicle 1, was observed on WSU surveillance cameras traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street at Northeast Stadium Way. At approximately 2:53 a.m., a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra, known as Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington, towards State Route 270. State Route 270 connects Pullman, Washington to Moscow, Idaho. The camera footage from Pullman, Washington, was provided to the same FBI forensic examiner. Forensic examiner identified the vehicle observed in Pullman, Washington as being between a 2014 and 2016 Hyundai Elantra. At approximately 5:25 a.m., a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman and on WSU campus cameras. The first camera that recorded the white sedan was located at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman. The white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to West Palouse River Drive in Moscow, which intersects with Konsaga Drive. The white sedan was then observed turning north on Bishop Boulevard and northwest on State Route 270. At approximately 5:27 a.m., the white Elantra was observed on cameras traveling northbound on Stadium Way at Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Grimm's Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson, Stadium Way at Kruger Way. Holy shit. Picture showing Moscow and Pullman. On November 25th, 2022, Moscow Police Department asked area law enforcement agencies to be on the lookout for a white Hyundai Elantra in the area. On November 29th, 2022, at approximately 12:28 a.m., Washington State University police officer Daniel Tanego, he inquired white Elantras registered at WSU. Perfect. That's what you do. As a result of that inquiry, he located a 2015 white Elantra with a Pennsylvania license plate, LFZ 8649. This vehicle was registered to BRYAN KOHBERGER, hereafter Kohlberger, residing at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 201. So was that on November 29th? So like I said before, December 7th. Okay, so the same day at approximately 12:58 a.m., WSU officer Curtis Whiteman was looking for white Hyundai Elantras and located a 2015 white Hyundai Elantra at 1630 Northeast Valley Road in Pullman in the parking lot. It was at the complex, the housing for students. Officer Whitman also ran the car and it returned to Kohlberger with a Washington tag. I reviewed Kohlberger's Washington state driver's license information photograph. The license indicates that Kohlberger is a white male with a height of 6, weighs 185. Additionally, the photograph of Kohlberger shows that he has bushy eyebrows. Kohlberger's physical description is consistent with the description of the male Dylan saw inside the King Road residence on November 13th. Told you guys, we believe that neither the surviving roommates are witnesses or perpetrators. And that was a lie. See, when you said that they can't do that, they did it. Okay. And that was right out the gate. And people said, well, you're giving Moscow too much credit to be saying that right at the gate. I said, okay. Moscow wasn't the only people there. It was FBI was there day 2. And he didn't give that presser and talk about that until the second one. Bam. Also, I said that they would have had his name prior to December 7th. Bam. Sign me up. Further investigation. This is so ridiculously sad, and he is pathetic fuck. That's all I have to say.
I need it.
Holy shit. I can't believe this. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, I needed a minute. Okay. Okay. Whew. Further investigation, including a review of the Lehigh County Sheriff's Deputy CPL Duke's body cam and reports showed that on August 21st, 2022, Bryan Kohlberger was detained as part of a traffic stop. Yes. Yes. They did it.
They did what?
Well, so they went and looked and saw, okay, he was detained. Let's pull this body cam. Bryan Kohlberger was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Moscow, Idaho. At that time, Kohlberger, who was the sole occupant, was driving a white 2015 Hyundai Elantra with Pennsylvania plates, which was set to expire on November 30th. During the stop, which was recorded via a law enforcement body cam, Kohlberger provided his phone number as blank. Hereafter, the 8458 phone as his cellular phone number. Oh my God. Investigators conducted electronic database queries and learned that the 8458 phone is a number issued by AT&T. On October 14, 2022, Bryan Kohlberger was detained as part of a traffic stop by a WSU police officer. Didn't know about this one. Upon review of that body cam and report of the stop, Kohlberger was sole occupant and was driving a white 2015 Hyundai Elantra with Pennsylvania plates. Holy shit, this dude gets pulled over more than, wow.
He's probably dazed thinking about the murders.
No, this was in
24/7.
October.
Thinking about committing the murders
okay.
24/7.
On October 18th, 2022, according to his license, Kohlberger registered the 2015 white Elantra with Washington and later received Washington plate number CFB 8708. Prior to this time, the 2015 white Elantra was registered in Pennsylvania, which does not require a front license plate to be displayed. This was learned through communications with a PA officer who is currently certified in the state of Pennsylvania. Based on my experience and communication with Washington law enforcement, I know that Idaho and Washington require front and back license plates to be displayed. Investigators believe that Kohlberger is still driving the 2015 white Elantra because his vehicle was captured on December 13th, 2022 by a license plate reader in Loma, Colorado. See, he did go through Colorado. He went down and went through Colorado. He did go the long way. Holy shit, he didn't expect this.
For the toll roads. And
But this wasn't a toll road here. Kohlberger's Elantra was then queried on December 15, 2022 by law enforcement in Hancock County, Indiana. On December 16, 2022, at approximately 2:26 p.m., surveillance video showed Kohlberger's Elantra in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. The sole occupant of the vehicle was a white male whose description was consistent with Kohlberger. Kohlberger has family in Albright, Pennsylvania, learned through a TLO search and locate tool database query. Based on information provided on the WSU website, Kohlberger is currently a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University. Pursuant to records provided by a member of the interview panel for Pullman Police Department, we learned that Kohlberger's past education included undergraduate degrees in psychology and cloud-based forensics. Wow. These records also showed Kohlberger wrote an essay when he applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. Holy shitballs.
That fits the profile of someone like that. They always try to get in with Ellie.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't believe it was a distraction. I think that they were trying to see if he'd run or if he'd come forward. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Can you imagine being his parents and reading this?
I can't
Wow.
imagine being the Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously, like but I'm just saying, like, you know,
And
the
reading
presumption of innocence. I mean, this is
about
this is
Dylan.
this is very wow. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let me continue reading on. Oh boy. Hold on one second. Uh, wow. Hold on one second. This is just so sad. Oh, wow. Here we go. This is going to be disgusting, I have a feeling. All right, here we go. Trigger warning. Okay. Trigger warning. So, oh, so sad. Okay, based on these records also showed Kohlberger wrote an essay when he applied for an internship with Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. Kohlberger wrote in his essay he had interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. Kohlberger also posted a Reddit survey which can be found by an open source internet search. The survey asked for participants to provide information to understand, quote unquote, to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision making when committing a crime. As part of this investigation, law enforcement obtained search warrants to determine cellular devices that utilize cellular towers in close proximity to the King Road residence on November 13, 2022, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Let me tell you why they issued this gag order as well. Because there is a leak in the police department. There's 100 a leak. And I'm so glad that the judge jumped on that because somebody was leaking information. They looked at cell. So November 13, 2022, November 13, 2022, between 3 and 5 a.m. After determining that Kohlberger was associated to both the 2015 white Elantra and the 8458 phone, investigators reviewed these search warrant returns. They were wanting the information off of the 8458 phone.
Did it come back as
These returns did not show the 8458 phone utilizing cellular tower resources in close proximity to the King Road residence. Did not. Okay. Based on my training, experience, and conversations with law enforcement officers that specialize in the utilization of cellular telephone records as part of an investigation, individuals can either leave their cellular telephone at a different location before committing a crime or turn their cellular telephone off prior to going to a location to commit a crime. This is done by subjects in an effort to avoid alerting law enforcement that a cellular device associated with them was in a particular area where a crime is committed. I also know that on numerous occasions, subjects will survey an area where they intend to commit a crime prior to the date of the crime. Depending on the circumstances, this could be done a few days before or for several months prior to the commission of a crime. During these types of surveillance, it is possible that an individual would not leave their cellular telephone at a separate location or turn it off since they do not plan to commit the offense on that particular day. On December 23rd, 2022, I applied for and was granted a search warrant for historical phone records between November 12th, 2022 at 12 a.m. and November 14th at 12 a.m. for the 8458 phone held by provider AT&T. This would be approximately 24 hours preceding and following the times of the homicides.
because people go back to their crime?
On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to that search warrant, I received records for the 8458 phone from AT&T. These records indicated that the 8458 phone is subscribed to Bryan Kohlberger at an address in Albright, Pennsylvania. And the account has been open since June 23rd, 2022. He just opened this. These records also included historical cell site location information for the 8458 phone. After receiving this information, I consulted with an FBI special agent. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. After receiving the information, I consulted with an FBI special agent that is certified as a member of the Cellular Analysis Survey Team. Members of CAST are certified with the FBI to provide expert testimony in the field of historical CSLI and are required to pass extensive training that include both written and practical examinations prior to being certified. But what came back then is I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone from November 12, 2022 to November 13, 2022, the time period authorized by the court. On November 13, 2022, at approximately 2:42 a.m., the 8458 phone was utilizing cellular resources that provided coverage to 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment G201, Pullman, Washington. Here after the Kohlberger residence. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that provided coverage southeast of Kohlberger residence, consistent with the 845 phone leaving the Kohlberger residence and traveling south through Pullman. This is consistent with the movement of the white Elantra. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone stops reporting to the network, which is consistent with either the phone being in an area without cellular coverage, the connection to the network is disabled, or that the phone is turned off. Again, this is at approximately 2:47 a.m. So on November 13th, at approximately 2:42 a.m., 8458 phone was utilized, and then 2:47 a.m., and then approximately 2:47 a.m., it stopped working. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m., at which time it utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to ID State Highway 95 south of Moscow. Between 4:50 a.m. and 5:26 a.m., the phone utilized cellular resources that are consistent with 8458 phone traveling south on ID State Highway 95, then west towards Uniontown, Idaho, and then north back into Pullman. At approximately 5:30 a.m., the 8458 phone is utilizing resources that provide coverage to Pullman and consistent with the phone traveling back to the Kohlberger residence. The 8458 phone's movements are consistent with the movements of the white Elantra that is observed traveling north on Stadium Drive at approximately 5:27 a.m. Based on review of the 8458 phone's estimated locations and travel, the 8458 phone's travel is consistent with that of the white Elantra. Further review indicated that the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13th, 2022 that are consistent with the 845 phone leaving the area of the Kohlberger residence at approximately 9 a.m. and traveling to Moscow. Specifically, the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to the King Road residence between 9:12 a.m. and 9:21 a.m. The 8458 phone next utilized cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling back to the area of the Kohlberger residence and arriving to the area at approximately 9:32 a.m. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's more. Below is a depiction, not to scale, of the possible return route taken based off of a cellular site. So basically, I mean, I'll go break this down step by step, but this is insanity. Investigators found that the 8458 phone did connect to a cell phone tower that provides service to Moscow on November 14th, 2022, but investigators do not believe the 8458 phone was in Moscow at that date. The 8458 phone has not connected to any towers that provide service to Moscow since that date. Based on my training experience and the facts of the investigation thus far, I believe that Kohlberger, the user of the 845 phone, was likely the driver of the white Elantra that is observed departing Pullman, Washington, and that this vehicle is likely suspect vehicle 1. Additionally, the route of travel of the 8458 phone during the early morning hours of November 13, 2022, and the lack of the 8458 phone reporting to AT&T between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. is consistent with Kohlberger attempting to conceal his location during the quadruple homicide that occurred at the King Road residence. On December 23rd, 2022, I was granted a search warrant for Kohlberger's historical, and this was from June 23rd, 2022 to current, for the location information and pen registration trap trace. This was all for the 8458 phone to aid in efforts to determine if Kohlberger stalked any of the victims in this case prior to the offense, conducted surveillance on the King Road residence, was in contact with any of the victims associated before or after the alleged offense, any locations that may contain evidence of the murders that occurred on November 13th, the location of the white Elantra registered to Kohlberger, as well as the location of Kohlberger. Holy crap. On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to that search warrant, I received historical records for the 845 phone from AT&T. And that would be from the time the account was opened in June of 2022. And guess what? That would be right before the disappearance of on May 28th of Dana. He switched his phone right after Dana's disappearance in May 28th. After consulting with Cass, I was able to determine estimate locations for the 8458 phone from June 2022 to present day, the time period authorized by the court. The records for the 8458 phone show that the 8454 phone, utilizing cellular resources that provided coverage to the area of 1122 King Road on at least 12 occasions prior to November 13th. All of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early morning hours of their respective days.
Creep.
One of these, so they didn't know this though until December 23rd, according to this. Okay. You know, all of those people that were saying that this was going to not be a beefed up probable cause. This is a pretty beefed up probable cause.
It's amazing.
This is a pretty beefed up.
The defense is going to have to
12.
have their work cut out for them.
12. Okay. So here we go. Continuing on. Again, 12. All of the occasions except for one occurred in the late evening and early morning hours of their respective days. One of these occasions on August 21st, 2022. Jesus. The 8458 phone utilized cellular resources, providing coverage to the King Road residence from approximately 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. At approximately 11:37 p.m., Kohlberger was stopped by the sheriff's deputy. As mentioned above, the 8548 phone was utilizing cellular resources consistent with the location of the traffic stop during this time. Farm Road and Pullman Highway. I want to know what he was pulled over for. Oh, that was the seatbelt, wasn't it?
Yeah, if it's the 21st of August, yes.
Yeah, but it was further analysis of the cellular data provided showed the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13th, 2022, consistent with the phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston, Idaho via U.S. highway. At approximately 12:36 p.m., the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe coffee stand, located at 810 Port Drive, Clarkson, Washington. Surveillance footage from the U.S. Chef store located at 820 Port Drive, Clarkson, Washington, and adjacent to Kate's Cup of Joe showed a white Elantra consistent with suspect vehicle 1 drive past Kate's Cup of Joe at a time consistent with the cellular data from the 8548 phone. At approximately 12:46 p.m., the 8458 phone then utilized cellular data in the area of the Albertson grocery store. Surveillance footage obtained from the Albertson showed Kohlberger exit the white Elantra, consistent with subject vehicle 1, at approximately 12:49 p.m. Interior surveillance cameras showed Kohlberger walk through the store, purchase unknown items at the checkout, and leave at approximately 1:04 p.m. Kohlberger's possible path of travel is predictable. Wow, that's a quick trip to the grocery store. I think that they know what he bought, but that's just me. Additional analysis of records for the 8458 phone indicated that between approximately 5:32 p.m. and 5:36 p.m., the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to Johnson, Idaho. The 8458 phone then stops reporting to the network from approximately 5:36 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. That is consistent with the 8458 phone being in the area that the 8458 phone traveled in the hours immediately following the suspect time the homicides occurred.
That's insane right there.
So where did he go over there for 3 hours? So what they're basically saying is that wherever he went here is what he did the night of the homicides, or like early morning. On December 27th, 2022, Pennsylvania agents recovered the trash from the Kohlberger family residence. I knew it. They were going to go for that trash. That evidence was sent to the Idaho State Lab for testing. On December 28, 2022, the Idaho State Lab reported that a DNA profile obtained from the trash and the DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as not being excluded as the biological father of suspect profile. At least 99.9998% of the male population would be expected to be excluded from the possibility of being the suspect's biological father.
So they got his dad's DNA and they did familial DNA. They got him on that.
Based on the above information, I'm requesting an arrest warrant be issued for Bryan C. Kohlberger for 4 counts of murder in the first degree. Oh.
For Madison. It's like, say their names. For Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Carnoodle, and Ethan Chapin. And we should all pray for their families right now because this was really hard to hear.
This is sad. And that was dated and signed 12/29/2022. And let's go like this. Stop screen. Give wow, it's I think that Moscow did an amazing job by saying that there was 2 surviving roommates, and that they are not, we don't believe them to be involved nor witnesses. Justice for all. Who is Brett? That's Officer Payne. That's Officer Payne.
Tell me who Officer
Again,
Payne is.
again, Officer Payne is with the Moscow Police Department. He's been on a couple of the body cams. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm going to be printing this out, doing my own mapping of it, highlighting of stuff, and want to talk more about it with you guys. I don't know. I think this is pretty thorough. And I think the only question, just from reading this, out loud to you guys, would be, was there another person involved? Was there another person involved? So, did he have an accomplice? Based on what was allegedly heard. Also, I want to know about like the DoorDash. He wasn't posing as a DoorDash, was he?
People in chat said it was a Taco Bell.
So again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being kind in chat. Again, sorry for that delay for a couple minutes there, but it's again, yes, this is far from over. I do agree with that because you guys, in the back of my head, everything that he said he was studying, okay, with the whole cloud-based forensics and stuff like that, if you truly think about that, how is somebody studying that and then they go and do this knowing everything that they know? So again, whoever recommended him, I feel bad for that professor, but whoever recommended him cloud-based forensics, that's very interesting to me because that's everything that got him caught. And I think that I think I'm going to read the beginning again. I have some questions, but I think that they redacted everything. Remember, this was a targeted attack. Remember, isolated targeted attack. And so everything that they know when they went ahead and issued this obvious, arrest. Why did the officers believe that this was an isolated attack from jump? What was at that scene? What was at that scene that you would think that this was an isolated attack? And my only thoughts, from reading this is all the redactions surrounding Ethan. But again, this is super sad, and Bethany and Dylan, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your families. To be, to hear this and to have somebody, a masked man that's in your home, walk right past you and you're just frozen and in shock. Also, like, is it like a fraternity playing a joke? You know what I'm saying? Like, so many things could have been going through your mind. Okay. But prayers to Bethany and Dylan and their families. So sad. How can this man not be guilty? If he had people do it, if he got people to do it and he orchestrated it, I still think he'd be guilty. But I think something is very, very off with what he studied and then how this all transpired. But until next time, guys, prayers, be kind to one another, and we'll talk soon.